The Siege Invitational is coming up, and if you've been playing Siege, you might have noticed that we're on patch 4.3 now. And if we look over to Call of Duty and the CDL, Infinity Ward patched Call of Duty 2 days before opening CDL weekend, the very first day, the very first tournament of this new Modern Warfare. And that was met with awful reception. A lot of pros were pissed. A lot of people were upset with it, understandably, because realistically, it is a terrible idea to patch the game right before a tournament. You need to let these players acclimate to it. You need to let them get used to it, because otherwise we're not going to be really seeing them how they should be playing, I guess, is what I could say. But some others would disagree with that. Scump said, hey, we're fine. This is what Call of Duty is about. It's about adapting. We did it, and we came out on top. That's how it works out. So Siege is unfortunately doing the same thing. They are following in Call of Duty's footsteps, or the CDL's footsteps, because they are updating the game. They just updated it with patch 4.3, and it's not a great idea. But for those who haven't played or checked on Siege recently, let me update you on what this patch actually is. One of the biggest things up front is the release of Vulkan API, as it is now ready for use in Siege. Vulkan is supposed to make Siege graphically easier to run, so if you've got a weaker rig, this should help you out. You'll need to install new graphics drivers as well, though, so NVIDIA Update 441.87 or AMD 20.1.4, just so you know. Google that if you want to update. But as for balance, ADS time was increased for all weapons, and when I first read this, I was sitting in Discord with my friend, and I was reading the patch notes, and I was like, yo, by the way, they increased the ADS time for all the weapons. And my buddy was like, yo, let's hop on Siege right now, let's play it, I want to try it out. And I was like, okay, I'm down. Listen, buddy, I'm down. But you do realize it's gonna make the ADS speed slower, right? You're gonna aim in a little slower. More time means it takes more time to move your weapon there. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah. Overall, I would say the ADS speeds are pretty noticeable. However, I would not say that they're game-breaking or game-changing. You know, they're just kind of there. It is noticeably slower, but it is not really an issue. It's not gonna kill you, maybe, hopefully. However, I would like to get back to the topic at hand. You guys maybe get a little sidetracked here. Pro player Achieved with TSM, I'm sure you all know of him. You know, he's a really cool guy. He was pretty vocal about the fact that they updated the game right before the Invitational. He's pretty upset with it. He said, not sure how I feel about the changes quite yet, but it's absolutely unacceptable for them to add this 1 week before the biggest tournament of the year. And yeah, the Invitational is right around the corner, and there's still a lot of other stuff on this patch that's pretty important to talk about, or at least to look at, because they did kind of target heavily picked operators. You know, for example, Ella's Scorpion Evo was buffed, Jaeger's 416C was nerfed, Echo can now actually be called by Dokaebi, and his yokai drones can also be hacked by Dokaebi, and it'll have a little blue light on it too whenever they're uncloaked. Maestro got his ACOG taken away from his Aldo. Yeah, a lot of other important stuff as well, but as you can see here, like just by those people that I named, they're very heavily picked operators in Pro League especially, so it's like kind of a huge deal to change them right beforehand. And you know, I could totally understand the backlash to it. Wouldn't be too surprised if someone ended up blowing up on Ubisoft like Crim6 did on Infinity Ward.
Alright, I feel like talking now. IW, if you guys put out a patch in under 2 weeks before an event, I strongly urge that we do not play on it. I know that this one fixed everything, but in other esports, like, to do what we did is considered a joke. So, IW, get your together, because it sucks.
But do you agree with Achieved and Crim6 in that they should not update the game right before a tournament comes out, or do you think no, you know, that's kind of the name of the game, that's part of it, that's called adaptation right there, or adaptation, adapting, one of those words, I'm pretty sure it's adaptation. However, Call of Duty's case is a little bit different because they had the slide cancel bug, something that they wanted to target and definitely get rid of before the update, or before the tournament I should say, because yeah, it is something that can kind of be abused, and it is something that the pros actually kind of learned with, and you know, that's kind of what they grew with. However, they wanted it out of the game. This one is a little bit different, you know, Rainbow Six, where they have more so balance updates and stuff like that. Yes, there are bug fixes, and they did introduce the Vulkan API, but it's different, you know. This is something that you probably want to wait until after the tournament to put out, when you have it so focused on balance updates and, you know, operators that are very heavily picked. However, let me know what you guys think. How do you guys feel about it? Thank you all so much for watching. I will be seeing you all very soon, so take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.